Anyway, how's the weather?
Oh, no intro or anything, huh? Okay.
What is this, a podcast?
Welcome back to Insane Badgers. Today we're talking about
the ease at which we do improv. With which, I mean...
We're talking about improv and how to teach improvisational skills. On the line with me is Mr. Brown.
Mr. Computer.
His name is Bob. Anyway, I went first last week. How's the weather for you?
It was a good day. It wasn't as sunny today, which was kind of a nice change of pace. Because when it's sunny out, you have to be outside because nature pulls you in. I mean, out. Because the weather's so incredibly beautiful here in the summertime. So it was a very, very, very nice day, but it felt like I had some time this morning to have a break because there was a little bit of rain and it was nice.
Oh, okay. So you felt some sort of obligation. You're like, well, it's nice outside and I have to go out.
No, it's more exciting.
I'm wasting my life away.
No, It's really like, oh man, I don't want to, you're like just anxious to go outside because it's so pleasant. It's really quite a lovely area.
Yeah, you definitely see it differently than I do. I take what many call the negative approach.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not because I want to go out and enjoy life. It's because I know I'll hate myself for not enjoying life. So it's kind of this weird cycle.
Yeah, it's like I get to do those kinds of fun things, but why I'm doing them.
It's self-abuse, kind of.
It's what you deserve.
I kind of just gaslight myself, yeah. Weather here was weird today. I mean, it was like 93 degrees and gray and on the verge of rain. It rained when I was on my way home from work today. It's a good 90 degrees and raining. So that was a change of pace, that's for sure.
Yeah.
You know, some wind and rain. You know, speaking of nice weather, huh? We had some wind and rain. It was nice and muggy and hot. I love it. I love it.
Thanks, Ned.
Yeah, that's my other character. Made up on the spot. Nailed it. Yes.
Yeah, like, what's his name?
His name is John Smith. The voice guy. The guy with the voice.
He says stuff.
Yeah, that's I did a whole sketch of that guy and I sent it to RM Brown and he said it was
not good.
So
really, really great.
They have some. Yeah, I guess he could have said that it belonged in
toilets,
but
he was being generous.
I like. I mean, I've got this little soundboard so far, but most of it is just made up of drops that RM Brown already uses, and then I realized it's like, well, we're not just going to use his drops the whole time, just like, oh,
I know RM Brown.
No, but so instead, I would just stick with ones that we are cultivating ourselves. I haven't got everything I want, but you know, there are still a bunch of RM Brown drops on here. I think I should just...
Those are part of our repertoire
stock
now.
him. Yeah, I mean, it's part of my language.
Yeah, that's what I mean. We use it in day-to-day life. So I think we can use it in our podcast with 1.8 million followers. Like,
yeah, I was just going to say, it's not like anyone listens to this anyway.
Let's hope not. Things such as, you know what? And that's one of the things I use to test my microphone. That's what I told you, because we need that.
Yeah, no, I'm glad that you told me, and then you saved that really interesting story for the podcast to tell it again.
Yeah.
Like, You know what?
I didn't think that you
I
really...
like to test my microphone.
Yeah, I don't think you really appreciated the nuance of what I was saying. And like,
and everyone who hears my botched editing jobs on the podcast is like, she tests her microphone?
yeah. Well, she failed it.
Like, what's the point of the test? I don't get it. It's like, both of us were just like, all right, yell into the microphone? Okay, that sounds bad enough. Sounds bad. Ours isn't too bad, but it was funny listening back through last week how there was a... This is the meta episode, by the way. We're just going to talk about ourselves in the podcast. It's the
meta-episode. I don't know. Beta.
It's a metasode. I already said it.
Oh.
I mean, it was pretty clear that it wouldn't get any better than that.
It definitely will not. I wish I would have heard you so I could have avoided saying all those things.
No, but just listening in last week, and I don't know. Every time that something has come up on the podcast where I just say, well, we're just going to cut this out anyway, I'm just like, I don't know how to cut this out. Like, I mean, I could. It would just be jarring and terrible. So instead I just leave it in, and it's kind of... You just have to, like, fade out. Part of the charm.
I just want to keep talking when you're talking, if that's cool.
That's how podcasts work.
Yeah. So you're just
no, don't worry. We're on Discord. You won't be able to talk at the same time as me. So. Anyway, go ahead.
I was gonna say you just have to fade in and out of the actually good parts of our conversation, and like with music or something, and then fade back in to like. So
you're expecting me to write like 45 minutes worth of music for every episode?
At least.
So the rest of it can be faded out.
Yeah, so we can cut out all that crap that we talk about. I don't want to do a better job. I want you to do more work so I can be lazier.
Yeah. So we can talk for an hour every week, and then I write 45 minutes worth of music, and then the only parts of our audio that you can hear on the podcast are us discussing the weather and then saying stupid shit at the very end. No, that gets cut out too. Never mind.
Yeah. So, but, you know, it's an opportunity to make some music. So I'm doing you a favor, actually, by...
That is...
Disgusting?
By...
Oh.
No, that is... Yeah, I don't have that drop, but that is one of the not selling points. It's like I'm already doing it, but one of the... you know, I'm really good at like vocabulary and articulating my thoughts really well.
Especially on the spot.
That I like about doing the podcast. We're like, man, it's been so great. We're on episode 5. Yeah, but
I was surprised. I was like, oh my gosh, it's already episode 5.
Giving myself the goal of, even if it's something very simple, which obviously it is, just writing something completely new every week. So every intro is original, and except for episode 1, but
you can do. And now for something completely different: a man with 3 buttocks. Or you could just record a Monty Python sketch. I meant because you said you want to do something completely different, so that's actually where I came up with that. But you don't have to...
I came up with it by thinking of the fact that I'm going to do something totally different each time. So I was doing it more of like a literal...
Not like
just trying to speak to you, see if you were listening instead of just waiting with a reference in your holster, like a
what?
Gunslinger of the Old West.
Like an
Old West punslinger?
Yeah, I was going to say punslinger, but I'm going to a thing called punslingers. That's why I was thinking about it. I'm going to a thing called Punslingers.
What is that?
It's like a show where people go up and it's like a pun battle, like improv, and you have the audience. I'm not doing it, but because I was like, oh my God, I can't even imagine. It was Kelsey and I trying to do impressions to each other, thinking of celebrities. I couldn't even think of a celebrity to name for her to do an impression of. Like, that's how
Jordan B. Peterson.
Yeah, she wouldn't know that. She was like John Travolta, and I was like, hey Sandy, come on. Like, it was so stupid.
You're like yelling at her to do impressions. You're like, Paul Bufano, Roy
Donk. Yeah, it was just, we were saying, even with just the two of us, like no pressure at all. It being hard to come up with something, obviously, on the spot. So it's, yeah, especially a pun, because I'm like, what is a pun?
Okay, Natalie.
And then that's what happens.
What is a pun? That'll be the next week, is you're going to this lecture by like the local Women's Writers Association of the Pacific Northwest called "What is a Pun?" And it's like a literary and humorous response to Matt Walsh's transphobic rhetoric.
Yeah. Except they'd say something probably smart. Nice.
That's just the title. Oh. That's the entire title of the thing you'd be going to. I can't speak to any of the content. No. I can't go much further than that.
I just read the headline.
One thing that we've learned from doing these now 5 episodes is improv is super easy. I don't even see why I'd need to hone my skills. Like, I'm a genius.
I'm a natural.
Really.
Yeah,
a natural. It's like I live in a fanciful world of illusion and play. How easily
look, here's my
imagination runs amok. Yeah, I'm like, hey, Bob, man. Coming back from your work on the bridges, huh? Did you say bridges? And scene.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. That was good. That's a callback to a real life situation.
Yeah.
Bridges!
Real life situation. Having to do with improv.
That's funny. To me, not to anybody else besides Kelsey also.
Well, she's the only other person that listens. So,
that's true. So we're batting 1,000 with our audience. This is like we're getting our core demographic just nailing it.
It's like, now if I could get
my girlfriend,
a sponsor that just sells things directly to Kelsey.
What does she like? Yeah. What does she need?
Be like, and brought to you by your quarterly property taxes.
Yeah, I was thinking,
nailed it. Got the entire customer base right there.
Yeah, I was thinking I want a new couch, so let's do some direct like furniture ads to her to get her thinking about it. Let's use this to manipulate her into getting what I want, because that's what healthy relationships are about, is like covert operations. Marketing. And like treating your partner like either an adversary or someone to control. Because they're too stupid, they're too, naive or
easily manipulated.
Yeah, they can't think for themselves, so you need to do it for them. And that's what healthy relationships are based on, is that the founding principle of your partner's an idiot.
Like My Little Pony said, what is friendship without the capitalist profit incentive? I think I remember them saying that.
Yeah, I think that's actually the full title.
Yeah. It was like My Little Pony, Fox and Friends. And they thought it'd be like having a little fox in there, but it was just a bunch of fucking airheads saying stupid shit. Okay, so it's funny how far we're going already just with a bunch of inane blather.
I don't get it. I don't get why that's so funny.
What the fuck, dude?
Oh my god, I'm developing a parasocial relationship with him. He doesn't know about it, but
that's the definition of a parasocial relationship.
Oh my god,
I have a parasocial connection to him, but he doesn't even know who I am.
Oh my
Isn't
god,
that weird?
that's so stupid. I can't believe I said that like that. But
welcome back to Inane Blather, where nothing is scripted, okay? All right? It's fine.
Yeah,
we all make
because
mistakes.
Imagine if it was scripted and this is what we came up with.
We'd still be doing better than Fox.
Yeah, right.
No joke.
No joke.
Yeah, you like Hasan, so do I.
But he would like me too. I know that we would I would be a cool
See,
person in this
that's
life.
where the parasocial relationship really...
But I know, but it's because I get a lot of positive feedback from the people in my life that I'm a cool person to be around and that I have a cool perspective on things and that I'm interesting and hot. And so I'm like...
My bubble has reinforced this numerous times.
But my bubble keeps getting bigger
when I
and
preach
bigger.
to the choir, they say amen.
Hey, that's good. But my bubble keeps expanding, and it keeps reinforcing. But it's confidence, not arrogance, about like that.
I know,
Yeah, I'm a cool person, and that
I only tear you
all
down
people
because
cool.
you are cooler than me. So I just just erode away. Be like, yeah, Natalie, that's funny.
Yeah, get your jabs in.
You're like, well, my friends think I'm cool. You're like, your friends must be pretty funny.
Yeah. You think they're your friends?
But it's funny going through this much of it without really tackling anything of substance, which
I have a note.
it's funny to even assume that we generally tackle things of substance in the first place. But okay, well, what's your note?
My note is, why do you feel bad for people during the Great Depression? It's just an opportunity to lift yourself up by your bootstraps. I was thinking about how people think about the government and what the government has done for people, what they've contributed to society. And I think about the Great Depression and like, what would have happened without the government stepping in? People were selling their children. I mean, it was like, devastating, caused by what? Say it with me, capitalism. And the government stepped in and helped. So what is the difference in that? People needing help because they were disadvantaged by things out of their control, and like reparations and all those kinds of things, where now it's like, oh, you give people money and they just squander it. They, I mean, all these stereotypes go into all that line of thinking too about poor people and blah blah blah, and that it'll just make them create a welfare state and want handouts and all that stuff. So it's like, so how did this nation build after everyone got a handout after the Great Depression? Because I mean, how were they supposed to survive and otherwise? And just thinking about that, and I think a lot of it is because all the pictures you see from the Great Depression are white people partially, and just obviously an arrogance and white privilege and whatever that goes into that. Thinking nowadays about what government help even looks like also, and just it's become stigmatized when in fact it's what allowed things to even be built in the first place for white people. But,
I have one thing to say to that, and it's...
No.
Oh, that's enough.
that would be Ben Shapiro's response to to that.
Oh man! Oh well, there's a couple things that I was thinking of. It's funny, like it's like, wow. Then you brought up white people being the face of the Great Depression. I mean, there were a majority of America anyway, but.
Well, sure.
But it's like, I'm sure, Natalie, if you lived back then, you would realize what everyone else did back then, that the Great Depression wasn't caused by capitalism. It was black people and immigrants. So they're asking for all those handouts, and suddenly the economy crashed. No, but it is funny how... so think about it this way. Things are going off a cliff. Things are going badly, or things are looking like they're going to go badly, as they did with the massive inequality that was already occurring, even when the stock market was good, quote unquote, things like that. There was still a solid section of the population that was left leaning and was calling that out for what it was. But and this is going in with zero history knowledge except what I know from YouTube and stuff like that. But so let's say, there's a percentage of people that are already in that position where they're like, things need to change. The government needs to do things. Some of this shit needs to be broken up. Capitalism is ruining all this. And there's other people that, even if they're not benefiting greatly from it, and they become some of the, attrition financially of the crash, that need to be helped out by the government, those people whose lives are fine that aren't leftists or aren't reading up on it, or, just the equivalent of voting against your self-interest conservatives nowadays, they literally, they're in that position of seeing things that way in the first place because they don't practice much empathy. So these things really don't, they don't see any need for change until it affects them personally. And that is a pattern that is just repeated over and over and over again. So finally, everything crashes. Suddenly, unemployment's at 30% or whatever is going on, and there's migrating caravans of people through the dust bowls of completely stripped farming communities. Suddenly, it's happened to them too. Then that group of working class people that feel like something needs to change has suddenly grown considerably, only because that big section of the population that had neither the time nor the desire to consider that things should change, because they don't have the empathy to even think about it. But it's also because suddenly it happens to them, though. And suddenly there's I'm saying it's not their fault so much as, that's just a feature of the system that you're in. But I was thinking about that a lot, just this whole... it kind of ties into what I was thinking about talking about in a way.
That's just funny. This whole it ties into the next thing I was thinking about.
This left-right thing, you could look at political ideologies or ways of structuring the economy and things like that. And then the weird philosophical side of it is this view on empathy as a force for good, or something that takes priority in your life. Like, people on the right just generally don't have that. There are reasons for it. It's just not how they view the world.
Oh my gosh,
nothing
that's exactly
needs to change until that happens to them personally.
Oh, well, we're thinking like the same thing. Okay. My next thing that I wrote down was that we talk about teaching our kids something useful, like how to budget or how to do your taxes or something like that, and not something useful like philosophy or human sexuality, gender studies, all that kind of thing, all those kinds of things, because of what they value as important. They don't value empathy as an important, like, the feeling side of humans is not, it takes not just a second to...
Well, because you don't make money out of that.
Exactly. Because that's and the more you know, the less you want to make money.
Valuing something, then in a society where, doesn't matter who you are, the way that your world works, the way that your life goes is purely dependent on your economic life in general.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you say, well, but that's a valuable thing, it's like, I don't know.
We are experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by.
So, yeah, anyway, and we're back because my computer is 16 years old. So, anyway, that is kind of like just a tangent, but it's, if you're asking non-rhetorically, I'm sure there are answers for that, like, why do parents not see certain things as valuable? It's like, because it's just, maybe they do, but
because everything
objectively
in
speaking
has to do with money.
If you just want to, actually quantify value, then if you live under capitalism, that's tied directly to money.
Well, isn't that what value comes from? Sort of. I guess we have. That's interesting. Yeah, values, like things that you believe in and things that you give value to. Like money, but it's totally different than something that you actually care about. Like, you don't care about a dollar bill like you care about your grandmother.
Yeah, speak for yourself.
Yeah, with our grandmother.
It's like, my values are values. That's the
funny.
I'm improv character Bill, Texan car dealership man, where my values are values. And my only value is the concept of value.
Yeah.
See? And scene.
That was good. That was really good. I think it's when I was on acid, I was having a hard time trying to figure out like how things would work without money, and it's because you would have to have an entire social consciousness evolution for people to not see. I mean, the thing about valuing, like with humans, like we do this thing where we make hierarchies, like difference. We can't do different but equal very easily. We have a hard time not ascribing things because that's how it's been culturally, blah, blah, blah. Because I don't know enough about human psychology, but I do know that is a thing with, what is that?
I wonder if that's something just, it becomes so easily entrenched because there are certain ways to ascribe, I don't know if that's the right word I'm looking for, to apply math to human existence. And man, currency and finances and capitalism and all of this, even just trading and finding equal
that's
numbers
what it is. About
is
seeming
like
fair. Like, because we have a sense of like balancing.
Because
like,
people want to
justice
quantify things to make things fair.
Yeah.
So that means adding up actual numbers.
Because
and
we
one
really
way to do
want
that is
to
to pin it to money.
We really want to make sense of our world, like when I was on acid, thinking about time being an illusion, because it is. Like, it's exists because we measure it, but otherwise it just, like, everything just is as it is. Like, there is no day.
It's what it's.
It totally is, infinity and all that kind of stuff, but how hard it is of a concept as a human, like, you would go, like, insane trying to think like that all the time. I feel like we have a need for like some order in our life. I'll prove you wrong there. I don't know.
Totally pull that off without going insane.
I'll just be high on acid all the time. That'll prove to people I'm not insane.
I don't even know where to go with that. I just won't quantify anything. Yeah. Life is unquantifiable, man. You're all about your numbers, man.
Yeah. What does that even
these
mean?
Shoes are the wrong size. I'm not into numbers. Sure, my feet hurt. Well, my foot hurts. The other one, the shoe's the right size.
Excuse me.
So the lady at the bar told me that my socks weren't matching. I said, well, to me they are, because I go by thickness.
Okay, Stephen, right?
Yeah. That's why, you could just quantify everything, really, if you want to. That's why I went on a couple of dates, and then I told the last girl, I said, well, I chose you because you are worth $58 more of enjoyment throughout my lifetime to me. I ran the numbers. She was really flattered.
$58?
I mean, she's like, wow, she must have been a real piece of trash, that other girl that you were talking to.
She was a garbage bag with a face painted on it.
Yeah, she was. She
literally a piece of trash.
That the girl do not exist. So
I make her up. We have a need to have a sense of justice. I think that's an interesting concept throughout a lot of human history, because we have feelings, because we have consciousness, because we can wonder about those things of what's fair and if you're getting taken advantage of, because we have feelings like that. I mean, in our relationships, you can see it, the dynamic, it's really obvious within like partner relationships, feeling like one person you're getting taken advantage of for whatever, like not being heard or whatever. But it's with all of our relationships, because it's a two-way street. Every relationship is a two-way street. So you want to feel like it's fair, because otherwise it sucks, because it hurts your feelings, and it's like, it's not fun to feel like people don't care about you. It's like the worst feeling possible, I think.
Well, that's why Doug's tip of the week to win every relationship. You just have to not have feelings. Then you can't. Then your feelings can't get hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a win-win, baby. But yeah,
Excuse me.
yeah. I wonder. That'd just be like, it's just the stoner hour. Like, I wonder if like other animals think about fairness.
Yeah.
Do dolphins wonder what's fair? You know. But so to change the subject.
That's where you'd fade out with
unless
music.
unless you have more to say.
No, it's just sort of pontificating. Is that the right word? Just like talking. Maybe that's more.
Okay, Natalie.
Oh my god, that's so awesome! I love hearing his voice say my name.
Yeah.
Suck my dick,
I
idiot.
love hearing him say "suck my dick."
That's my
Can you cut it
favorite
together to say
drop.
"suck my dick," Natalie?
Yes, but I'm not going to.
Oh.
You'll have to figure it out on GarageBand, all right?
Fuck no, it's not worth it. I'll just wait for it in person.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite drop that I've like made so far. It's just I heard him say it. I was just listening to.
We are experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by.
Okay. So, well, we were changing subjects anyway.
Technical difficulties.
Just because, not that I wrote anything down, because I don't do that. That's what you do. But I've been thinking about how I wanted to talk about this on the podcast. So it's like I hate whenever I approach a subject that I want to talk about, and I already have 3 forks in the road in my head, and I don't know how to put everything in a nice little bubble before I dive in to the infinity pool of my subconsciousness and my thoughts on life. And anyway, so it's just funny because I don't want to take things too
The streets,
Current-
taking it to the streets.
yeah, exactly. That's Michael McDonald's job. But I don't want to keep things too current because just pinning it to current stuff just makes this podcast even worse than it is because
No,
it
it
takes
doesn't.
me
There's not.
days.
It couldn't be possible
Takes
to
me-
make it worse. That's
Not
the
worse
great
than this
thing, yeah.
episode. Well, it's like, that's going to be the name of the
Not
episode.
worse than
I'm
this
calling it right
episode.
now. No, is disc is too slow.
Oh,
But
yeah.
it happened to both
Disc
of us.
means our brains.
Yeah. Disc brain right here is too slow. Disc brain is retarded. But
Wow.
so, but anyway, with that aside, just broad comments.
broad comments. Hey, come over here, you dumb
yeah.
broad.
You suck. But about, I mean, it's really funny. It's a big deal, and it's just amazing. But so the current event that brings these things to mind is Mar-a-Lago got raided by the FBI.
Crazy.
Right? So we can date this episode.
The former
Whoever's
president of the United States private club was raided by the FBI after an
His
attempted
tax shelter
insurrection.
home.
Yeah.
Yeah, was raided by the FBI. And so it's like, I mean, that's funny already. But it was funny in my own introspection. And by that, I mean thinking about my feelings on the matter while on Twitter arguing with people. Because it's like, I'll talk all snobby and think I'm above it all with all these liberal idiots in the Democratic Party. But then something like this in particular, when it just kind of something actually concrete, like is happening. You know what I mean? A political, I mean, it's a big deal. Like you were saying, no matter how dated this might be, like that's kind of crazy. And it's a political happening. It's something in the news, and it's like, oh yeah, but this is real. This is real life, right? And you get to see the Democrat versus GOP, and these differences, and even these shit libs that are just cackling at these foaming at the brim, pants shitting Republicans is amazing. And I was just like, God, oh, that's right. This is pulling me right back in, because it's really funny how stupid and terrible these GOP simps are sometimes. And it's like Marjorie Taylor Greene tweeting out yesterday immediately, all caps, defund the FBI. And I was like, wow, yeah, ACAB. Come on, baby! Yeah, it's like,
God.
What? Defund the FBI? So all these people are screaming about, the leftists in charge of the FBI and how law enforcement is overreaching.
Yeah, they're so progressive there in the FBI.
And all these right-wingers saying, it happened to him, it's gonna happen to you! And anyone else just being like, what? No, it's not. Why would that ever happen to me?
Because you're
you
a
can be
former
as dystopian.
president,
you can be as dystopian as you want, but I didn't smuggle a bunch of classified documents back to my bunker
flush in the
at a
toilet.
resort in Florida, okay? While talking about it on a free speech platform that I created.
Some of these moments are so surreal. That's surreal. The insurrection. I was at your house helping, do some stuff, some work on it, and I was like, "Oh my God, are you guys seeing this? What the heck?" And Dad was like, "Wow, we'll get to work." I'm like, "This is fucking insane." There's a gun pulled in the rotunda here. There's Congress people. I mean, this is this is really, really shocking stuff. And that raid, it's the former president's home was raided by the FBI. That, they don't just do that just on a whim. That would, oh my God. It's just saying some of this stuff out loud is
and
amazing.
So part of what I was considering throughout my introspection was, it's man, you got to admit, just as a political drug, Schadenfreude is pretty great. It is so vapid and meaningless, but it feels good. Just for political opponents to shit their pants,
because of the feeling
stage,
you want to see some fucking justice. You want to see them.
because of that feeling of justice or comeuppance. But in cases like this, it is pure Schadenfreude. You can't convince yourself for a second that justice is going to come out of this, or that the fact that some members of the GOP are temporarily embarrassed is any form of justice, because that's just not the case.
Well, and embarrassed? They're not embarrassed.
And my other thoughts were just so to broaden this out, so it's funny how, the number one line from any shit libs or anything was,
I'm calling bluff.
No, but the number one line, of course, is as soon as these idiotic maniacs are screeching about defunding the FBI or how this is all unconstitutional overreach, even though it's all done by the book, fuck the police, but it's you don't get to say anything about that. What the fuck are you talking about? But so the number one retort is, of course, I thought you guys backed the blue. That's the smarmy lib response. You saw it all over the place. And it's true, It's it's an immediate and obvious hypocrisy. That's just what are you talking about? Aren't you the party of law and order? When you talk about how no one's above the law, or looking at it the other way, it's so obvious and it's just a dumb hypothetical, but it's if this was happening to Hillary Clinton or Barack Obama, you 100%, without a doubt, would not be saying this. You just wouldn't. If you're talking about Dan Bongino or something like that, it's you would not be going on Fox News and calling it third world bullshit if they had raided Hillary Clinton's place. And even the ones that are saying, well, what's next? Are they going to raid the Clintons? Are they going to raid these people that are on Epstein's flight logs? And I'm sure, go for it. I mean, we're already living in a police state. Go get them. They're the politicians. Fuck them. But they think that that's some sort of retort, and it makes me wonder, like, what's the point of pointing out hypocrisy? Like, it doesn't go anywhere.
Well,
like it seems like, it feels like people are trying to draw back on a maybe non-existent previous time where abject and obvious hypocrisy in your political dealings or rhetoric was bad, was cause for alarm. Now it's just what people do. It doesn't matter. People's platforms and just their views, their entire political ideologies can be completely incongruent. It's so many different vectors. No, okay. No, but it's like hypocrisy. Like, what are we ever accomplishing anymore by calling that out? Like, what? So we can get some imaginary debate bro win? Like, it doesn't do anything.
To keep pointing out that you can't trust literally anything at all coming out of these people's mouths, because that's kind of the whole point of all, like, what hypocrisy is about. It's like, like, you're literally just not even saying anything at all, and like, that needs to be not normalized. Like, you can't, you do have to, like, make sure that it's like, but you said this other thing too, and that also was you saying that. So you saying these two things, it literally doesn't make any sense at all, like, without an explanation of how you came to change your mind about it. Like, and just, I think just not normalizing that kind of behavior, because it is like, because then what kind of person is that? I think. Yeah. And you know what kind of person is? It's the kind of person who will, because all of this just makes me think that, of course, there's hypocrisy, because in their minds, in like a cult mindset that you have, like with, okay, it's God's plan. You can't, like, whatever God does, there is a reason exactly for it.
That's a good point.
Yeah, like, God, it's his plan. And I think we need to remember that, Doug, that it's, no, and that's not, Amen. I mean, in their minds, you know, God's plan, it doesn't matter how hypocritical he might seem in any of the books, any of the things he's done, killing all the people on earth and blah, 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 blah. It's all because for the greater good and all of this all-knowing, you know, being or whatever. And that's like cult leaders. So it's like whatever they're doing is exactly the right thing to do. So it's not hypocrisy. It doesn't matter to them at all. But I think it matters to everyone. Circular
reasoning.
Yeah, I think for everyone else to remember that hypocrisy does matter, because it's like, that's what makes us who we are, is our beliefs. Like, and our, like, standing by, like, our actions and our words kind of like lining up, like, because that's who we are. That's what you are as a conscious being, as a human. Like, it matters. It matters when you're in charge of other people too, because you have to be able to know that when they say things, that's like what they're going to do. Like, trust.
There's some sort of foundation behind that. Well, I mean, my question is really, like, in feeling that we've already gone beyond that with so much of just the population in general, where it's like, that should be representation of someone's moral foundation. I mean, it's kind of, when you break it down that way, right? Hypocrisy is just an obvious way to show that you don't actually have, you know, value behind your statements.
You're a husk.
Whatever it
You're
might
a shell. Be. You're not even a person.
Yeah, exactly. But so then if we're already past that point where so many people don't care about that, that's how cult behavior starts. That's how fascism can promulgate, because people, if there's a charismatic enough leader or something like that in charge, you can pin everything on that. And then you have that, that type of circular reinforcement where it's like, well, they said A, so A is true, and A is true because they said it. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like, and that, when that forms the basis of all the followers' really political views or just views on reality in general, then you're already past the point where pointing out hypocrisy does anything, because they're like, yeah, I mean, so what? Even if it's not, there's never an admission like that where they're like, oh, I don't care if they're hypocritical, but they could just say, no, they're not. They're not hypocritical. You know how I know? Because they told me. They said so.
Mm-hmm.
Trump's not a hypocrite. He said so.
Yeah.
He's not a hypocrite. And so it's like, sometimes, I don't know, I just kind of worry about the amount of time I spend on Twitter, but about just engaging with that after a while, like this kind of dead, numb feeling of like, what's the fucking point of this? Like,
it's not. There is a point
if
to
it's
it
on a world stage. It's like, and you could say, well, there's a point in making sure that you are on the right side of history the whole time. It's like, I mean,
no, it's for the next generation. This is like, you always have to guard against fascism.
Yeah, so concrete things have to be done in order to accomplish that, and putting out hypocrisy is not part of that, I don't think. It's great for reinforcing things to your own side, right? To that preaching to the choir, which, I mean, and not in a pejorative way, but like in that rallying the troops. Not preaching to the choir, circling the wagons, some sort of something
metaphor,
like that.
Yeah.
Rolling the balls down the hill.
Oh, for sure. That's a good one. Two birds in the hand, one in the bush.
If you're really
or whatever that is,
teaching the monkeys how to type, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You're getting that Shakespeare. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it says like, oh, and Bill's back from Texas. I'm Bill, Texas car dealership man. I want to speak here. No, But I mean, it's a good way to reinforce to those on your side already that, hey, we've got this. Like, we're on the right side, and then you can use that feeling of community and that sense of a shared destiny or purpose, to actually go on and do concrete things and actually make changes. But in terms of political action and stuff, it's like, when so much, I mean, Twitter, of course, is garbage. It's a cesspool, but it's like, it really is reflected in our political reality to the detriment of all of us. I mean, you see the stuff on Twitter, and over the next couple days, that's what the arguments are. That's what fucking geezers on the House floor are talking about. Like, they're using the same kind of arguments. That's why it's funny to me, the whole thing of like, man, the GOP, they just get their marching orders. They all have the same talking points. It's like, yeah, because it's almost like, I mean, even if some of it's AstroTurf from the beginning, it's this like grassroots model where they're just repeating the same insane shit that their followers say on Twitter. And so they all have the same thing on their mind. We do it the opposite way, and then we argue about it on Twitter. On our side. But I don't know. It's like I just had to kind of remind myself, though, where it's like, I mean, hey, we're only going to go so far, even if everything changes for the better. You only live once. I can at least enjoy wallowing in
arguing with a hypocrite.
Wallowing in being on the right side and knowing it, because these people are obvious hypocrites that have no moral leg to stand on.
Totally.
Or just the schadenfreude of people being like, what do you mean? Like, people explaining away, well, Back to Blue was about local law enforcement. It always was. That's what the first ones were about. And it's like, no, it wasn't.
I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting to feel smart and right, because it's just, that's the thing about pointing out hypocrisy too, is like, some of this is for me, where I want you to know that I'm not falling for your bullshit, like that I know what you've said before. I know what you're saying now. I know what reality is, and I know blah, 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 like I can't trust you or anything like that, and I want to reinforce that, and maybe it could eventually, potentially, get through to someone about it, but kind of it's for me that I want you to know that I know, or whatever.
True.
That
reinforce,
reinforce the reality
your
that
cognitive biases.
I just want you to know that I'm not in any way, the wool is not pulled over my eyes, and that so much of that is about ego, that it's like wanting people you know, I don't know, wanting to be represented in the right way and stuff. But also, yeah, like, fuck those people. And sometimes, I mean, like, what is it going to take for them to get, you know, people can change. And so what is it going to take? It's not going to take not pointing out when they're being hypocrites.
True.
Like,
yeah,
you
that's
know,
true. That can at least
I
be
think.
a baseline.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we'll change our mind if you change your attitude, little boy. But it's like, yeah, and I think not even just on the ego side of it, but wanting to reinforce that feeling that it's like, I'm pretty sure I've thought this through. I think I'm right. I think that I've looked at this the right way. That only has an effect for those people who actually use introspection and question whether what they think is correct.
And that's why I like to test it out with dumb idiots on YouTube.
So it's like, yeah, so I guess it's like, well, you know, these people obviously disagree with me. You could just immediately write them off for fun. Or it's like, or, okay, now I'm talking myself into it. Yeah. Or by seeing the hypocritical, you know, just baseline that they're using for all of their views on this subject, it's like, oh, well, I mean, it's obvious hypocrisy there. I don't really see that in mine, so I think I'm good. Now that I've at least tested it a little bit, it's really easy to not do that and think, no, I'm pretty sure I'm right. I'm pretty sure I'm right about this. I don't know. I don't want to look into it. But when it's so obvious from the flip side of your position that it's like, well, they're obviously not right. So I'm at least a little better off. I can be confident in my thought processes. So.
Yeah, I've had it challenged. Like, I'm not just in a bubble because
you
I
have to challenge
to
yourself. And
yeah, it's a thing, and I just had a thought and I forgot it, so never mind. But it was about like, good faith arguments. That's another thing about hypocrisy, that it's like people that are hypocrites, it matters because they're not doing anything in good faith. Like, they're only doing things, like, they're being hypocrites because they want to maintain power, and not because they want to make things better, not because they're actually changing their mind about anything. They're just saying things that are like politically expedient or whatever. So, I mean, they're not even really hypocrites, I feel like. They're just not even people with real opinions or anything. They're just like, they don't have any values. I mean,
they're just mouthpieces for capital, and they're just being used like a fucking condom.
Yes, exactly, but way more disgusting. I mean, like, don't bring condoms into this. I'm a huge proponent, and
they're being used like a condom on Rudy Giuliani's dick on
with his cousin,
Little St. James Island.
Oh my god!
Yeah, they're being used like a condom on Alan Dershowitz when he's getting his happy ending massage with Jeffrey Epstein. That's an analogy right there. That's how.
God.
That's how rural voters are used in this country.
Oh my god, that seriously made me legitimately gag thinking about that.
Don't worry, the girl was like 15.
She knew what she was doing. She probably asked for it, honestly.
Into.
Oh my god.
Matter of fact, yeah, she was pulling herself up by her bootstraps.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. What?
Oh. No, I mean...
No.
Beat a kid in Walmart.
Sorry, I was being a mime. I thought it would be a good bit for our podcast.
Yeah. Dead air.
I just watched some last night. Excuse me.
You did? You watched Always Sunny?
Yeah. It was funny.
Was it about
Toilets?
Okay, time to use the soundboard for the next 10 minutes.
All right. Go.
Fat Mac, season 6.
Yeah, he's eating chimichangas out of a garbage bag.
He's cultivating mass, okay?
Yeah. You're fat! Charlie's
you
like,
look like shit!
Shirt? Yeah.
You look like shit!
Dennis is such a good actor. They're all good actors. Oh my god.
Yeah.
They're so fucking funny.
I love all of them. I highly recommend that show.
Definitely.
I think
what's happening?
What?
Oh, it was like turning my volume up, but I wasn't doing anything. It was like just tripping.
The high school reunion episode is easily one of my favorite. You haven't seen it?
I have seen it.
Oh, you have? Yeah, that's one of my favorites. And they do their dance in front of everyone.
And he's just standing there, so fat.
So he's just fatly standing there.
He is. He was a fat drink of water. The kind your friend got out of the tap.
Yeah.
That's on Family Guy.
And that's why I went to the gym this morning. Have you been to the gym lately?
That's why you don't yell.
You've been going?
Nope. But I look great, so thanks for asking. No, I do need to get back to the gym.
Look like?
Yeah, me neither.
Bitch, who do you think this is? That's how I'm gonna. That's my radio voice from now on. You don't know me.
Oh, sorry, I just clapped. That's gonna be so fucking loud. I can see it. It's way loud. Yeah.
Don't worry, you've definitely peaked the microphone before. We still sound better than a lot of podcasts, which is the funny thing.
Peaked performance, not peak performance.
It really piqued my interest.
Mm-hmm. Picked with a Q.
Piqued. So,
well, you're not liking the way this conversation's going?
Okay, Natalie.
Let's see here.
Oh my god.
What do I got?
You should just have the keyboard.
What's going on?
Oh my gosh, you should put the keyboard in there, and then you'll start playing, and then I'll start making up something.
I already
making up
tried.
songs about my cat. So I'm pretty good at it.
The keyboard through so you could hear it and it could be recorded. I can't figure it out.
Yeah.
So I just need a new computer.
Oh,
but
so you did figure it
out.
out.
I don't know. I don't know how to get it to go through it. See, we can only do improvisational keyboard episodes when you're here and we're podcasting together. Okay.
So sort of a special event.
Yeah, sure. Or just, it'll be nice because we'll have two microphones and a keyboard and we can actually be in the same room. And I don't just pretend like I'm hearing you, even though I can't hear anything you're saying over Discord for almost the entire episode. And I think it goes pretty well for me just guessing what you're blabbing on about because, you're predictable. But no, I'm just kidding. No, it's been pretty good today, actually. Just
so
that
have the video off.
Both of our discs have been slow. So shout out in the comments if you've ever had this problem with GarageBand on a Mac, huh? Am I right, folks?
Am I right?
Yeah, it actually happened to me once on my old MacBook while we were recording a basketball podcast, and it was like we were deep into it too and having a good conversation. I was like, oh, you guys, I don't know. I don't think it's been recording for like 15 minutes.
Oh my God.
I was really involved in talking in that one too and would just set it and forget it kind of. We'd set our levels and I'd just sit there and we'd all do our thing. But right now I can just face the computer, which is nice. That's the one nice thing about not having the other person in the room is that I just look at what's going on the computer the whole time. And just kind of look at my eyebrows in the webcam and be like, God, I need a trim pretty bad.
I get pretty long eyebrows too, and that's thanks to Dad. So you can thank him for me when you see him.
Yeah, I got mine out to like about 4 1/4 inches once. I would just gel them over down the side. And I was trying to get them to come around my eyes and connect to my mustache. Yeah, so I'd have this kind of circle within a circle face. But the only thing stopping me was I couldn't finish the unibrow. So I could,
what was the point?
Just wouldn't work. Yeah, I was like, well, I'll cut these down and stuff. Then, then they let me come back to work. So, it's so funny. No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to try to be like, come back to work as like and then I couldn't. Okay. That's a good
Come back to work as what?
Don't start unless you have toilets. Yeah. Come back to work as I was trying to think of a really serious job like that where you would, if you looked ridiculous, it would be like,
you are morally obligated to beat a kid in Walmart.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, like went back
Not
to
good.
work.
Not good. Not good.
Oh, that's our alarm.
Not good.
No.
Don't start unless you have something. That's all that was in my mind.
Isn't it funny that this is the outcome of our podcast? My river drowned the whole world.
She looks so sad in photographs.
Yeah, absolutely love her.
When she... yeah, you should have... yeah.
When she...
No.
That is my own sperm.
I'm calling bluff.
But, okay, isn't it funny that this is the outcome of our podcast? That is one thing that I thought of earlier, was that it's like just a bunch of inane blather, even though we have this great and unique opportunity to record our takes where it's two people, one with a sociology degree and the other with a business degree. And we could really be tackling some subjects here.
I was actually thinking if we named our podcast something different, maybe it
something
would be
different. I think that's already taken.
Yeah, that's not what I meant
we
at
could
all.
call the podcast Two Siblings, and one has a business degree, and the other has a degree in sociology.
Succinct and descriptive.
Yes.
I like it. Yeah, I was thinking about how Danny Gonzalez has two. Sociology with a women and gender studies minor.
Oh, that's minor. What it is. Okay. I didn't want to say gender studies degree because I was like, I don't think that's what she made.
It was women and gender studies. It was women's studies, and then they changed it while I was in college to women and gender studies.
So
it might be something different
go
now.
Broke. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're you changed it, and look at where I am now. I'm fucking broke.
Broke as a joke. I was thinking about Danny Gonzalez and how he has the two channels where one of them where he gets a little bit wacky and goofy and drinks LaCroix. So you can have two different vibes.
It's unscripted is what it is.
Yeah. And how if we had a different podcast that's name wasn't Inane Blather, because I think Inane Blather lends itself to a lot of inane blather. So if you wanted to do something actually constructive, I know.
You think so?
Quite an insight, I thought. That there would be one that would more structure, because I like having conversations, of course, like this. And it's nice to have intentional time with you every week, of course.
That's the other podcast name is Quite an Insight.
Quite an Insight. Hey, I like it. Write that down.
The best thing about it, it doesn't sound insufferable at all.
I love it. Quite an Insight. And welcome back to Quite an Insight. My lived truth is that...
yeah, it'd be like the NPR guy played by Dan Castellaneta. And now it's time for Jazz plus Jazz equals Jazz.
We found that our listeners really like jazz.
Yeah, that one for the elitist insufferable podcast, and then Inane Blather is just like, you're back with the Jack-Off Hour with DJ Zizek. The only station that slaps you across your fat ass with a fat dick.
Yeah. Nice. That was good. That was a good impression.
Like, suck my dick, idiot.
Yeah, let's hope that I can get all this edited together. I hope that our
good luck with that.
Legions of fans aren't upset with me for how I don't have a good schedule for uploading things.
They love
Still
us.
figuring out the best way to do it on YouTube.
Our fan is the most supportive person.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's like she's turning us
good enough for her. I know. Yeah, she's low expectations
for us into the podcast version of one of those people that goes on in the first episode of American Idol, where they've been told their whole life by friends and family that they're a good singer, and then they go on and embarrass themselves on national TV.
That's what's happening every week with us.
Yeah.
Because of her.
Yeah.
Directly because of her.
I mean, she's
kind of a horrible partner when you think about it.
Gotta make a monkey out of you. She's making fools out of us. I have to turn away so I don't scream into the microphone too much. Yeah. She's making a mockery. Well,
Toot, toot.
Is that the noise of you getting off of Discord?
No.
You're like, well, actually, I actually had to run to the bathroom.
But I didn't make it.
Oh, I just had a baby in the toilet. And I was like,
okay, Natalie.
And then you were like, oh, wait, no, that is my own sperm.
That is my own sperm.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
What
baby.
the fuck, dude?
Okay.
Oh my god, he's so cute and funny, and
Oh.
also wow, sexy.
Next week, no podcast, so
Tim Pool is who I was talking
people can suck a dick. Dumb
about.
shits.
Dipshits.
I thought it was dumb shits.
Yeah, I was just thinking, what is it?
It was when Tommy Pickles said, "Suck a dick, Dr. Lipshits." Ooh, it's a deep pull, huh?
What?
Rugrats.
Ooh, wow. Deep pull from. I just did a life. With
Only
Louie
90
reference
kids will
today.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Only 90 kids will get this.
I got irrationally mad at Cumtown when they talked shit about Life with Louie and said that Bobby's World was infinitely superior. I was like,
They're
no
dumb shits with
fucking
cum in their
way.
mouths. Yeah, they don't know anything.
They're cum shits with dumb in their mouths.
That too.
Well, shout out to the Improv Masters Cumtown, and shout out to the number one newsboy, R.M.
Those
Brown.
foamed pants. Our
Not
man,
good.
In Jesus Lord.
Okay, but yeah, no podcast next week. I'm going to be in Vegas. I'm not going to record it.
That's
So.
right. Cool.
Yep.
Cool, cool, cool.
Kind of finally go on a little vacation. That's how you pronounce it
Vacación.
in Espanol. But you take this Espanol and you put it on the wall. And you open up Espanol and
And the electrical.
there's the wires in here. But,
Good.
yeah. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah, going on vacation. You've had a fun summer, right? So
Fuck yeah. I've had
Okay.
a really fun summer. Best summer
Okay.
of my life.
good.
Even though I got COVID and I was really sick. And I missed the festival. But it's
So
still
was
really
it that awesome of a summer, or just were all of your previous summers really crappy?
great. You know, I feel like...
A little column A, a little column
yeah.
B.
Hey, come on.
But
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I'm in a
Yes.
good place. I'm really happy. It's really nice. Everything's the best because I'm the happiest
It's a great way
I've
to stay
ever
in
been.
shape.
It is.
Well, good. That's really awesome to
Disgusting.
hear.
No.
Man, at least at least someone's happy. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm very happy. So, no offense. No.
Yeah,
It's like none
was
taken.
until then.
BoJack, none taken until you said no offense.
Yeah, but yeah, for me, it's like, man, time's just running out because Sophia starts school in. Oh my God,
You're just
what
putting
is
her
today?
name on blast like that?
I said it last week.
Oh,
Idiot.
okay.
No, she starts school 3 weeks from today. So it's like, good
Adele
God.
started school today.
You're just putting her name on blast like that? On the internet?
Yeah.
Who are you
Yeah.
talking about?
Fuck
The
that.
singer?
Yeah.
Well, there's one other non-listener that we cannot count on, is our sister.
Mm-hmm. She's the worst.
May she, God rest her soul. I'll see her next
Yeah.
week. Oh, she's not dead.
No. She's just, oh, dang it. What is the word when you have like a demon inside of you?
Possessed?
Possessed, yeah.
No, I thought you were just going to be like, oh, she's not dead. She's just a huge bitch. She just needs Jesus.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. Okay.
That too. Still good.
Well, then let's
Inanely blather off into the
let's
sunset.
go to Hasanabi reacts to what pretending to be crazy looks like. Is this working?
It's working. It's working.
It's not.
Oh.
Well, my
Stop.
phone. Oh.
Stop. You're
Oh.
fucking annoying me.
Oh, sorry. That's like the
Fuck,
perfect.
dude. You're so selfish and stupid when you do that. It's
Oh
very
my God.
cringe when you do that.
Hasan.
Go back to your fucking Discord and
Don't
it's
talk to me like that.
I just clicked a random related video and
God.
scrubbed to a random point in the video. And he's saying, stop, we're being annoying, it's cringe, and go back to your Discord. And I was like, that is so perfect.
Oh
my God, that's going to give me a nightmare. A nightmare. A single one.
Oh.
I hated hearing him talk like that.
Those places are much worse because of people in criminal psychiatric facilities.
Oh, then it's just something normal. I gotta go back and make a drop out of this.
Cringe when you do that. Go back to your fucking Discord and talk amongst yourselves.
Such an asshole. So
fine,
awesome.
Hasan, you're not coming back on the show, buddy.
Yeah.
We let you
okay,
on,
Natalie.
you little clout goblin, trying to get onto our podcast.
Always gobbling that clout.
Yeah, he wishes.
I know. You can gobble this clout, if you know what I'm saying.
No.
Yeah, I'm not really sure either. Actually, think about it.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
No.
Gobble this clit. Oh.
No.
Yeah, I know you were saying no, Ben.
Bed made of money.
Okay, I love you. Shout out to Arm
too.
Brown. Hasan, you're not ever welcome back on the show.
Don't ever
And
even joke like that.
We'll talk to you guys in 2 weeks.
In toilets.
Toilets.
Okay. Love you, bye.
Okay. Love you. Bye.